Good morning, folks. Hey, it's Shooter. Hey, we're just going to do a quick market recap. A couple things changed. And of course, at the end of our presentation, please do review our disclosure. Now, first things first. Okay, we are viewing this on a 4K screen. So I'm hoping that improves the quality for your visual. And, I'm going to start off this morning with the Russells because in my view, we've had a significant shift here. The count has now flipped bullish. So we're looking for about 195. Now, one thing I'd like to note here, even though the count has flipped, we've got a pretty decent price rejection at 101.76 right there. We closed on the bottom of the candle yesterday, so it came off pretty aggressively. So, I left my bearish fibs up here. This 147 is now a ghost count for me, and obviously if you had tried to take this short, you should have been stopped out. I want to jump over and look at the Dow as well. Now we've gapped right to the breakout line at that 366.5670, excuse me. And it's going to take me a minute to get used to this screen because really it is small. I've got it on a new 50-inch screen now. That's what I've decided to go with after testing a gazillion monitors and TVs. I've got the Q90C from Samsung because it's got a non-glare screen to it, and that's working good. All right, so let's look at TLT. We're just it looks like we're going to put it inside day-to-day. Pushed a little bit, so we're right at my 192. Now note how we have held to the high side of the count, which indicates to me that it potentially could push. And as I update, we now have a potential push to 93.70. All right, back to the indices. Let's go over and look at the NASDAQ. Definitely bullish, but toppy here. Notice how we went above my trend resistance line. So we stay above this 388.61. We're scaling it well, but I don't like that we've got this gap right here. So I think that gap does get filled before we continue higher. Then we have a secondary trend support line, which includes our 342.35 low. So a close below 351.26 would, of course, indicate that we're breaking down. So, right now we're extremely bullish on the NASDAQ as well as the S&P. Now, this is, my opinion is that we've just had so much money come in after the holidays, for a Santa rally. It's historic, and when you look at the historic market trends, typically we do have a Santa rally of some type. So that's why I think we've seen so much cash come off the sidelines. So still looking for that 485.54. And let me get over to what I wanted to address as well. Well, we have finally gotten up and out on pins. Now we've got a minor wave target of 40.19 on this. Then we got a decent back test. I don't really like that low. So that basically gets us back to 32. So at this point, I'm going to try and hold. I've got 32s that expire next week. I've got 34 and 35 Januaries. So we're just about in the money on those. Well, actually, the 34s are in the money. So those are probably, the 34s are probably 60, 70% now. The 32s are probably a tad bit more than that, just because the premium was high on those. So, at this point, I'm going to hold. I had thought about trimming today, but, we're pushing quite well. As long as this gap holds, about 50% of the gap, I am going to set a stop, like right here at 33.70. So we get below that 33.70. I'm going to let it take half of me out. On the 32s at this point, I'm holding the 34s and the 35. Also wanted to take a look at Tesla. We broke out, closed on the low of the candle, and we have not breached our trend resistance line. So that's a little price rejection for me. The count has not changed to the upside. So we've got to get above that 254.03. And again, this is drive 1, drive 2 grouping, drive 3. So this could be an overshoot. We still could fail. But it's very constructive for the upside here. Nice look. Nice volume came in yesterday. Amazon is also holding up very well. We're closing on the low of, we're starting to roll over here a little bit. We got our 2 here next. So maybe 443 or 143, excuse me. Really having a hard time seeing those later. I might need to get binoculars out. All right, then we should head up for our intermediate wave 3, a little bit shallow, put in our 4, and then our 5 is up here where our primary wave 3 is at 153. So we've got a decent range here. I want to throw a analysis tool up here so you can see the channel. So this is the range of our channel here up on the high side. So, if you don't have a position on, the challenging part is going to be this cycle wave 3 and how deep that drawdown is. Now, this is a technically challenging moment when you have this look, because there would be nothing that would prohibit this from failing now, continuing down into this low, and then this cycle wave 3 prints here. Because note how shallow our wave 1 is and how long wave 3 was in the cycle wave. So at least I can't find a technical reason why it would roll over. So that's my thought. Apple still putting that top just above the 8-day. Now the genomic, I did an article on this a couple months back. We're definitely are seeing a little light here. So our 5 is way the heck up here. Way the heck up here. I don't actually even have a label on this yet. So there was our primary wave 3, primary wave 4. Equality really puts us up around the 382 fib right in this range, but very constructive with this base look. And we also got a decent push, even though the count suggests that we're still going lower. This responded as well. I didn't notice the count has not flipped on this yet. I had this mark. Makes it very challenging for the upside, that is sure. So our trend port is very important on this chart, but it could flip north, that's for sure. That's what I'm spending a second here on this, getting my mind set on what we need, because it's got a nice base. We got a confirmed low, a divergent low, and really a test of that low. So, maybe if we do get one more low, this is ready to go as well. And DA is also moving. We broke out heading towards that 50. I like it when trends start moving together. We don't have the collective here. Like right now, technically, according to Dow theory, we're in a bull market because all 4 indices are heading in the same direction. So that's a trend. I of course enjoy catching those. All right, let's take a look at crypto. So we're still testing this 1. We haven't broken down. I anticipate a breakdown. So I'm going to be echoing that. Gessler didn't say anything negative today about the Bitcoin ETF, about the spot ETF. So at this point, my trajectory still is the 32. I do want to tighten up my stops though at some point up here, but I have not done that yet. I'm sort of just watching it. I have no reason to change my mind, so I'm not. Does that make sense? I get a reason to change my mind, I can change it pretty quick. Okay, XRP, there's news all over the place on this thing stuff. I still like it, so we're going to continue to scale. Now, something else I noticed that really got a buzz yesterday was coin heading maybe to that 175 at this point. But let me jump over and address 2 small caps. Amentus, we're just here, closed at the bottom of the candle. I don't really have an opinion besides that. Structurally, it's done nothing wrong. The fact it's camped out between $4 and $5 is telling. That pretty much indicates that we've probably got a bottom. So, if we do break below this 8-day, I'd have a little concern, and maybe we're going to back test the lows. But I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, now AST Space Global. There was a couple of really aggressive articles out there about basically they were pumping the fact that we're on the verge of mass adoption of small satellite, in global cellular service. I think that, AST Space Mobile is a good candidate to head on the upside, and we've just popped our head above the breakout. But that's what I have for today, folks. Great trading. Until next time.